Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara Gertina, and I'm the founder and CEO of Wellness Matters, You Matter. And I wanted to make this video today because health is so important. And here we are at the holiday season of 2021. This may be dated for a future, but we've really had 2 years of major health concern, and it seems like there's no let up. But the consciousness of health has become really forefront, which is an awakening. I feel we've been on this journey for a while, looking at plant-based diets and the impact on our ecosystem and all kinds of things of that nature. But I must say that I think even for the holidays, that health is the most important thing that we could give someone and to gift ourselves. And I've lost several friends this year. And last week my friend lost her husband suddenly. Healthy, robust people. And so the impact this has is so important to me. I've always been on that journey. I grew up in the hippie time. We had co-ops, and natural foods were really, really important. And I'm grateful to my family to have had a healthy diet that I grew up with. And we didn't have all of the types of processed foods and toxins that we do today. So we really have to pay attention. So many of you know that I'm in the area of health and wellness. My business is Wellness Matters, You Matter, and also that I'm in the field of nutrigenomics. Many people have not heard of that, but and also the term of biohacking has become, so mainstream now. And we really were one of the first people adopting that, because that is what we're doing. Hacking can be helpful and hacking can be destructive. And so nutrigenomics is how nutrition affects your genes, and it really does. And I just found this incredible book called Undo It, and I'm just at the very beginning of reading it, but it reinforces what the products and company that I represent is saying and teaching, because we have a lot more control through our lifestyle on healing chronic illnesses or preventing chronic illnesses that we realize. And the first part that they talk about is, I'm just going to even quote from this because I think it's important to know that things are third party. I'm not making this stuff up. I've talked a lot about prevention. Prevention isn't sexy. It isn't fun. People don't often pay attention, myself included, until you feel something, or people say, I'm fine. Until you have a symptom, you think you're fine, but you don't understand all the things that your body's fending off all day long with the antioxidants that your body makes. Did you know that your body makes your own antioxidants and antioxidant enzymes? We always think we have to get it through vitamin C or blueberries or other small dose components of antioxidants. And I'm going to dispel or share something different for you today, which is body activation, which is much more effective. And that is the new paradigm of health. And so on page 13, one of the first things they say is the old saying about an ounce of prevention and a pound of cure is true. It takes a lot more changes in diet and lifestyle to reverse a disease than to prevent it. I have someone now that is a friend of mine who is having signs of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And it's really a struggle getting a control on the diet to reverse a lot of that. Prevention is really, really a key component. So a lot of people think that they're young and I don't have to deal with any of this now, but these disease processes start many, many years, decades before you might see symptoms. We don't wait for our car to break down before we take it in. We get our oil changed. We get our tires rotated. We get, any liquids taken care of. We pay attention. We don't want it broken down and then have to deal with it. Prevention we do for our car. We do it for our house. We do it for all kinds of things, but we don't always do it for ourselves. And that is a key component. Get in front of the wave of aging and things that we're being exposed to. The second thing I wanted to talk about is So let's see here is there's such a our whole medical information and education seems so often that each disease is specific and has very different underlying causes. And so when I talk about the products that I represent as activators, we have pathways in our body, and we've identified one pathway that is abbreviated as our Nrf2 pathway. It's very, very significant, and it is a cause or a root cause of over 200 diseases in aging. And people always say, how can this be? How can this be? And, you know, your body knows how to heal when those pathways are working optimally. As we age, starting from like 18 and 20, up until that time we're growing, those processes slowly start to shut down or quickly start to shut down. And I wanted to read this excerpt for this book because this is the first time I've seen somebody, the Ornishes, and they're very famous and have a number of books out. And actually, even insurance companies have adopted their plan of diet and nutrition for reversing diseases. That says a lot. So it says the reason these same lifestyle changes are beneficial in reversing so many chronic diseases is that they each affect and share so many common underlying biological causes, mechanisms, and pathways. That is exactly what we are activating with the plant-based products I represent. One of the important implications of this new unifying theory is to stop seeing chronic diseases as being fundamentally different from each other and begin viewing them as diverse manifestations. Everybody's body is different and expressions of similar underlying mechanisms. So if you can help those underlying mechanisms, you can help reverse and heal a lot of other chronic issues, all of which are powerfully affected by the lifestyle choices we make every day, for better or for worse. That's biohacking. Is this fuel for my body? Is this helping my body? Or is this going to hurt my body? Or is this going to take away from my body? That's really the reason that we eat, for fuel, for energy, for cellular and organ maintenance and growth. That is why the effects of lifestyle changes are not disease specific, because they affect all of these mechanisms. So they mention so many things: chronic inflammation and immune system dysfunction. Do you think that's important in this day and age? Our immune system is vital right now. We need to be boosting our immune system, not hurting and harming and weakening our immune system. Chronic emotional stress, depression, overstimulation of the sympathetic nervous system, stress hormones, and lack of sleep. So my business is called Wellness Matters, You Matter, because I have a big emotional component of my business. Dis-ease equals disease. Our emotions play a huge factor in the manifestation of diseases and cellular degradation in our body. So for me, we cannot have one without the other. I started teaching the physical things and representing this company and preaching it to people. And I've been through some very big traumas and traumatic and ongoing trauma experiences. And I see, just look at today, people are really depressed. People are dealing with anxiety. Our fight or flight systems are on all the time. They are not meant to be. We have to calm down our nervous system. We are in deregulation from a couple of years of the stress that we're under. So many lives lost, so many political issues, so many global issues have been going on in the middle of a pandemic situation. Gene expression and sirtuins. So specifically, my products from the company that I represent are based on genes, and you can upregulate and downregulate genes. I had never heard of sirtuins before until we came out with an NAD product. And again, that's an abbreviation for a very long term scientific term, but I didn't even know we needed to have that in our body. If we don't have that in our body, we can die very quickly. And that's why people do a lot of fasting to stimulate the NAD, because our sirtuins are our longevity genes. Many people have heard of telomeres. That's very important. And the microbiome, gut health, is in our vocabulary, our mainstream. It is so vital. It is really called our second brain. And I believe our heart is our third brain. So these are major working systems of our body. When you can get your microbiome operating in a much healthier fashion, it affects everything in your body. So again, I can address those things. And this is something that you may never heard of. And this is the very premise that our company is built on: oxidative stress. And that is another term for free radical damage. When you can reduce oxidative stress, which is a root cause for almost all diseases and aging, we can reduce it in 30 days by 40% and up to 70% as an ongoing protocol. That gives your body a chance to heal, because we have these rogue cells in our body, and we create about 300 septillion a day if you're a couch potato. They are developed from the foods we eat, the pesticides, the EMTs, the sunlight, from exercise. Those are all causes of free radicals that are trying to find healthy cells to attach to, and that creates disease processes. Angiogenesis, stasis, and many others. There's another term you might not have heard of, and that is apophagy. It's just like you have to take the trash out of your house and your foodstuffs and clutter. Well, our body needs to do those processes too. It's cellular waste. You know what happens when you have fruits and vegetables or meats and they are spoiled and rotten. It creates damage, it creates mold, it can contaminate other things. Well, if you have those processes inside your body, it's doing the same thing. So we need those flipping the switches on our pathways to get apophagy and remove the cellular waste in our bodies. I think it's really important that we even understand our bodies. These are things we should be taught as children. So again, I'm going to reiterate here. It says, similarly, stress management techniques such as meditation and yoga improve our health in multiple ways, whereas sustained emotional stress significantly increases the risk of numerous chronic diseases via these same mechanisms. So I have been training in Reiki. I meditate and teach meditation. I teach stress management, mindfulness, and I take part in yoga. Breath work that's something simple you can do in a matter of seconds. You can be in your car and be in a stressful situation. Maybe you had a close call for an accident. You can do a couple of types of breathing exercises for a couple of seconds, and that deregulates and downregulates your nervous system. These are things that we need to know. These are things we need to teach our children. We are on overload right now with the amount of isolation, the amount of decisions about our health, our family, job situations, pivoting, change, so many things. That these skills are life skills and they should be learned by everyone. Please reach out to me. I would be happy to help you with that part of my business, as well as these physical components. Again, it comes back to a pound of cure. It takes bigger lifestyle changes. Everyone knows, I know I've gained weight over this time, and it's easier to lose 2 or 3 pounds versus 15 pounds or 40 pounds. And I've been much more sedentary. Movement-based stress is extremely, extremely important. So it takes bigger lifestyle changes to reverse disease than to prevent it. So please take this seriously and know that you are really doing the right things for yourself and your family. We want to live longer, but we want to live longer healthier. If we're not healthy, who wants that type of quality of life? And who wants the burden on our family or our children? So, and of course, there's always a place for Western medicine. I mean, it is not saying any of that is not okay, but there's another point I want to talk about, and that is inflammation. And everyone knows inflammation and chronic inflammation is a root cause of many, many chronic disease processes. But there also is a healthy reason for inflammation. That's why it exists. It gives you a powerful immune mechanism in your body for healing when the tissues have been attacked by bacteria, trauma, toxins, heat, a physical issue. And so it helps infections and wounds to heal. But as much as it is required for healing, it's deadly when it's chronically activated, which in our Western societies and our modern world is a fact of almost everyone having acute inflammation or chronic inflammation. So it really does create a huge problem, and having it comes on quickly and it resolves rapidly, lasting for a few days only when you are hurt. But in contrast, chronic inflammation tends to occur slowly. It creeps up on you and may last for months or years, and it plays an important role in almost every major chronic disease, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, depression, dementia, among others. So think if you can reduce inflammation. And that is one thing that, again, our core products do massively reduce inflammation. And I wanted to mention, when I talked about the immune system, glutathione is a very, very important factor in our immune system. Many people hadn't heard about it. It is, again, becoming mainstream, which is good. We need to know about our bodies. We just take it to someone and say, fix me. We need other cultures. They understand their body at a greater length. When I've lived in other countries, and more actually third world countries, they're very close to the earth, and herbal remedies and plant-based protocols and lifestyle changes. They put those things into place first, as what I've experienced and noticed. So we talk about the arteries, the brain, the joints, your pancreas, cancer, and of course, a sedentary lifestyle increases inflammation. You need blood flow, you need stimulation. So exercise decreases it. And only 20 minutes of walking significantly reduces markers of inflammation. So that is really, really huge. Again, when I talked about the glutathione, I failed to mention that our core product increases glutathione by 300%. It's really, really huge, because the molecule of glutathione is very large and you cannot necessarily ingest it. So here again, we're back to chronic emotional stress is a common risk factor. So take it seriously. 75 to 90% of chronic diseases, including the illnesses that cause the foremost morbidity and mortality, stress. So that's why that is a big component of my wellness business. The fight or flight response is a series of physiological, did you hear that? Physiological, not psychological responses that are activated in our body during times of stress and danger. It's from the caveman. A tiger's approaching. You need that burst of flight or flight responses to run away, to fight, to know what to do, and then it is supposed to go away. That happens if you watch in your animals. If you watch your dogs, your cats, the cats will hunch up and claws are out and sounds are made. But then they go on and they lay down and they go to sleep. But for us, we flip those switches and we often keep them on. Gene expression. So I know I grew up with someone in my family that just said, well, those are the genes you're born with, or whose genes do you have? And always evaluated every new baby. They have the father's genes, they have the mother's genes, obsessed with genes, but genes can be changed. In fact, there's a lot we can do about genes. And this empowers us to know that we're not stuck with a condition. A condition can be changed. And that's exactly what I was talking again about our core key product. It regulates, upregulates genes, downregulates other genes that are not healthy for us. And so by nutrigenomics, nutrition affecting your gene expression, you have the opportunity to control many of the things happening in your body. That is my passion, is to be able to empower you and inspire you to do so and to learn more about it. So they conducted a study showing that changing lifestyle actually changes your genes, turning on, upregulating genes that facilitate health, and turning off, downregulating genes that cause chronic inflammation, oxidative stress. That's what this little yellow pill does. I should have had one out to show you. One little yellow pill downregulates harming genes that cause chronic inflammation, and the oxidative stress, I can say via the FDA approval, you can in 30 days reduce the oxidative stress in your body by 40%. And it also affects other mechanisms causing disease. They're giving an example here. For example, the selectin E gene, which promotes inflammation, was downregulated in their study. I'm just trying to make you aware that these are possibilities. You don't have to say, these are my genes and this is what I'm destined for. And I'm going to hit one last thing. I know this is long, but I feel that these things that I'm talking about are vital for a start to deal with health at a basic level. And I didn't know about this until maybe last year. Sirtuins are enzymes that wrap your DNA around these histone proteins, which are a way of turning off harmful genes. The first three letters of the word sirtuin, SIR, are an acronym for silencing information regulator. They're like anti-aging proteins. And a lot of promising research is being conducted on sirtuins because of their important role in the aging process and in many chronic diseases, including cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. Again, research keeps discovering new ways to explain why lifestyle medicine is so healing. We have an NAD product. I have the studies on it and how it regulates, and the NAD is 100% bioavailable as a coenzyme to boost your sirtuins. I don't know about you, but going on a highly restrictive caloric intake to boost my sirtuins does not sound like fun, especially right now in the holidays. There's a lot of foods that I really want to eat, and I want to be careful about it, but I don't want to live in that restricted way. And if I can just take this one plant-based tablet and have it 100% availability, I know people that are infusing NAD to be able to have your sirtuins. Again, that is not fun for me. I'd rather take a little tablet. And I know that compared to the other ones on the market, which I think give about 4 to 6% availability, 100% availability is more attractive to me. So I hope that I was able to stress upon you and impress upon you the importance of being proactive in your health. This control is under you. You know, just going to the doctor, just going to the hospital, just waiting for symptoms to manifest, for things to happen, and not taking that responsibility on yourself is your choice, but we're all paying for it. And it really upsets me so much that almost every commercial on TV is a drug. And if you have a drug for this, you need a drug for that. Then you need a drug to boost that drug because you need this drug. And if that drug's not working, if you're over 65, you need that drug. But if you don't have this, you need that. And when you start trying to do synthetic things in your body and change your body processes, there are always side effects. There are always something that has to be counteracted. By being in the business I'm in, I've learned from so many doctors, because we have a plethora of doctors, biologists, pharmacists, and I've learned from them. I didn't realize until really a few months ago that when you take something as a synthetic drug, because there are synthetic Nrf2s out, there is one for MS. It's over $50,000. There are side effects. But when you flip one switch, you have to flip it back again. So you need another drug because they can only do one process. I didn't know that. I'm not on any drugs. And so when you're activating your own body, you're just telling the switches to start working again. So your own body will flip the switch on and off as needed, and it will know when to do so. So I hope this was informative. I really wanted, when I just read, I'm only up to page like 33, and I cannot believe how it parallels and is written in such a simplistic way to understand the vital components, and that you have control over some of the chronic illnesses and things that you might be dealing with. And again, reach out to me if you'd like to know about any of these nutrigenomic products. I stand behind them. We are publicly traded. We have peer-reviewed research on the National Institute of Health Library that we pay for as citizens. And we have patents, and this is real. And you can have the health that you desire if you're willing to do what it takes to biohack or to create lifestyle changes. Thank you so much. You can reach me at wellnessmattersyoumatter.com. I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook with that business name. Thank you so much.